Dear Diary, I realise I've been scared. I think I have been telling myself that I've been trying to be humble and take my time and not be overzealous, but the realisation I had today is that I think I'm actually scared to accept the things I want, communicate the things I want, and be bold enough to claim those things. And that might sound a bit wishy-washy, but I think in essence I've always been someone that dreams big and isn't scared to shoot for the moon, and I've always had ideas and I would just pursue the idea without second thinking, without second guessing myself. And I would have an idea about something and I would do it, or I'd be inspired by something and I would chase it, and I would think, oh, I want to do that, and I would just go and do it. And I never really limited myself by considering constraints of the real world and how likely and how possible that was. And that was me as a kid. I was in drama, I did dance, I had a side business selling clothes, I set up a record label, I did events, I've had a food business. I'm always just someone that, I'm ready to go and give it a try and give it a shot. And I've realized that the way I view myself and how confident I am in doing those things has slowly changed. I think that's a result of being weathered down by the real world and struggling with reality slapping you in the face again and again. And I think maybe part of it is as I've gotten older and some of those things that I've tried maybe haven't gone as I wanted, or I felt like I've failed publicly, there's been a feeling of being embarrassed and not wanting to be seen, or not wanting to be taking up space, or not wanting to be too bold, because what gives me the confidence to say I'm doing another thing when the other things I did didn't go as I would have dreamed, right? In an ideal situation, one of those things that I did would have taken off and been successful to the point where I wouldn't have needed to start doing other things. And in a way, maybe part of me has been trying new things and pursuing different things in the hope that something will plug the gap, or something will stick, or something will be a hit. And that's hard to say and hard to realize and hard to accept, that actually I've been fearful of my ability to succeed at things because of how things have gone. But realistically, all those things I've done, I love doing them, I enjoy doing them, I learned a lot from them, and they were really fun. And it was never just about the end result or the end goal or the success that would come from those things. For me, it was more about, I really wanted to do those things, and so I did them. Producing a play at school, writing for some magazines, acting, like having a podcast. I loved doing those things, and I looked forward to the moments when I was creating. And I think that's the thing, is that I've always been someone that likes creating. And for some reason I stopped and have started being doubtful. Oh, could I really be a writer? Could I really be a presenter? Could I really have a podcast? Could I really be an influencer? Could I really make content? Can I really actually have those things? Is that really in my destiny? I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough. And I start comparing myself to other people doing the things that I want. And I think, oh my God, like, wow, they have it. They started and it happened for them, but I've started so many things and they didn't happen. So maybe that just means that it's not meant to happen for me. I'm not going to have that. I don't deserve that. And I've started to question if I could really be that person, if I could really have that thing, if I'm really good enough to do the things that I see people doing. But that is a lot of fear and lack of confidence. And in truth, it's sad and as I started catching myself thinking like that, I realized that it's sad that I feel that way, because I never really felt like that. I never doubt myself. I always had confidence in myself. And they say the number one predictor of people being successful is a delusional level of belief in themselves. And I used to have that. I used to fearfully believe that I could do anything I wanted. Anything I put my hand to, I could turn around, I could learn anything. I really did believe that. And I want to get back to that feeling, not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of self-belief and self-love and self-confidence that is really needed, I think, in this world to actually push through and do things you want to do. And so in a way, I've been shrinking myself and maybe not saying things that I would like to do to my friends, or not actually even... They become a non-starter before I even can get to doing them, because I think about it and then think, oh, well, no, you don't look like that person. You're not good looking enough. You're not cool enough. You're not funny enough. You don't dress well enough. You don't have that personality type. People wouldn't want to see you doing that. No one would care about what you have to say. No one wants to hear your opinions. No one wants to see you talking about that. So before I can even, where normally I'd have this inspiration, just be so energized and just start working on how I'm going to do it, before I can even get to how I'm going to do it, I start questioning if I should or if I can do it. And so then it means that I say, oh, I like this thing, but I'm not going to do it because I think this, or I might not share my opinion, or I might not say, I might meet someone else doing the thing I want to do, and I might question whether I want to do it. And it's sad to reduce yourself and restrict your natural inclination and personality and creativity because you just don't think you're good enough, or you're not going to be able to make it. And I don't, think badly of myself for feeling this way. I don't judge myself because I know why I feel this way. I've wanted so many things so desperately and tried so hard for them. For one reason or another, they haven't worked out, and that's been hard. And so I think as a result of some of those things that were painful to see fail or fall apart, some that were my fault for whatever reason, some that were a lot that weren't my fault and were out of my control. But that's how I got to where I am today and how I started feeling and thinking. But I think I also have the power to say to myself, I don't need to let those things define me, and I'm trying really hard to, as we go into 2026, be different and think differently. And for me, the next year is about doing the things that I want to do for the sake of doing them, and not letting fear stop me from doing that, and not letting me be restricted by questioning myself and doubts, and just giving things a shot and believing in myself. Because if I don't believe in myself 100%, how is anyone that sees me doing those things going to believe in me if I don't believe in myself? And I think that's so true with this day and age, is setting goals for yourself that might seem crazy, but if you know that you're going to do it regardless and you're going to be consistent, even if it takes you 10 years, then people are going to believe in you because they're going to see this person doesn't care about what the external factors are, how it's being perceived, or the results. They're just going to keep going regardless until it sticks. And that kind of resilience, I think, is actually what makes things work and succeed and go well, is a crazy belief and a crazy determination and crazy consistency. And some of the things that maybe didn't work out for me didn't work out because I started to doubt myself, and so I slowed down or I changed. Okay, well, this format isn't working, but I've seen someone doing that format, so I should do that format. Okay, well, now that's not working, maybe I should do this. And I started to question and doubt myself, even though I knew that the ideas I had were good and I believed in them, when they weren't being externally received or getting the views I wanted or being interacted the way I wanted or being loved the way that I loved them. I started thinking, okay, well, if other people don't love it, then it must mean that what I'm doing isn't good. Whereas actually, I just need to keep doing it because I love it, and the things I love doing will find the right people, and then that is when they're going to be received as they should be. But because they're not being received instantly doesn't mean that they're bad. Creating, if you're a musician, you write songs, if you love the song, it doesn't matter if your friend doesn't like it, someone else might say it saved their life. And it's about knowing that you should be creating and doing the things that you love from a place of, I am inspired, and so I have a need or an inspiration to make this thing, and so I'm just going to make it because I want to make it, and I'm going to make it in a way that I love, that makes me proud, and I'm going to put it out there, and I don't care what happens as a result. I just want to share this thing that I made because I love it, and if you love it, that's all that matters, rather than trying to create and put yourself into a box to please other people. Because when you're trying to create with other people in mind, it's not going to come from you, it's not going to be genuine, and in that sense, it's not really actually, you're not actually making what you should be making. You're not actually using your craft and talent in the way that it should be, because it's being influenced by other things externally. And so I've realized there are a lot of things that I started doing that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make, like some of my videos I used to make, I was like, I'm gonna make a video like this because that's what's trending and that's what people like. And I'd be making the video and I'd be thinking, I'm so bored and I don't like this, and it feels for example, I made a fashion TikTok. I love clothes and I love fashion, but the videos I was making, I wasn't speaking. They were just me standing up and wearing clothes, and it felt so devoid of me, because I love to speak and share my opinion. I love to interact, and just I like talking and I like expressing myself and I like to communicate and I like talking about topics that I find interesting. And that format, whilst I like clothes, for me it wasn't fulfilling because I wasn't speaking, I wasn't able to share my opinion. I had to follow a strict format because the fashion pages all had these like 10-second videos that were clipped very fast and shot a certain way, so I was having to shoot videos in a certain way, and it was also stylistic, and it didn't feel like there was any substance to it because it was just purely visuals and about appearance and aesthetic. And I love aesthetic, and that's why I try and have a nice camera. I try and film nicely and, you know, light my things properly and color grade. But I want the substance of what I'm making to communicate who I am and to share with people what I believe in and what I think and my opinions. And I want to connect with people on a human level, and I can only do that by sharing part of myself through the videos, by speaking and sharing my personality and connecting with people that way. And as soon as I stopped doing those videos and started making videos where I was speaking, sharing what I thought and being myself and sharing my opinion, the more I started to get engagement from people saying, oh my god, I love the way you explained this and articulated it. I completely agree. It's exactly how I felt. I've never heard someone say this, or I've never heard someone explain it in this way. And I started to realize that my power is in the way that I think and the way that I express myself and the way that I view the world. And I think there's power in sharing my view, and I want to remind myself that as the rest of the year continues. At the end of the day, I had a conversation with one of my friends yesterday, and Steph, if you're watching this, it was you, and she said to me, you're the kind of person that if you said to me tomorrow, oh hey, by the way, so I've been thinking about it and I signed up for an astronaut program and I actually got onto the astronaut program and I'm going to be going to space, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, because you're just the kind of person that whenever you have an idea and you believe in something, you want to do something, you don't even question it, you just go and do it. And because you are so you're so willing to do the things you want without questioning or caring about what other people think, I genuinely believe that you can and will do those things, because you always just go and do what you say you're going to do. And I had to say to myself, I said, wow, like, thanks, that's so nice. And it was such a powerful reminder that actually sometimes people see you better than you see yourself, because you're internally questioning all these things and all these worries and doubts and sadness and fears that you have. But it was a reminder that yes, I was someone that used to just say, guys, I'm going to go and start this thing, and you know, you'll see it when it's done. And I would go and do these things, and not everyone has that, and that's a gift that I'm proud of, and a thing that I think I need to lean into more. And Steph saying that just reminded me that that's who I was, that's who I am in my essence, that's who I am in my core, that I'm someone that is inspired and that does create and loves to just go and do the things I'm interested in. I don't hold back and I don't restrict myself, and I don't want to stop being that person that is just has a lust for life and wants to grab life by the horns and just go and get it, and believes I can get and have whatever I want. And I think anyone else can have that as well. And so that was a really helpful thing to hear, and a good reminder to have, that I need to remember who I am and not lose the essence of who I was at my core as a child before the world had its way with me. And I think I'll end with this content game, this putting myself online, this speaking is something I've been doing since I was probably 16, and I've stopped and started, and I've always come back to it because it's something that I really want and something that I love. And I met an influencer who is now a full-time influencer, and she does travel content. And I said to her, you know, I've been doing this thing and here's my page. And I just doubt myself. And she said, don't listen to me. I'm just a normal person. All the people I've met who are content creators are normal people. We all just started one day, and then we started being more consistent, and we kept being consistent. And then one day, at a random point for us, a video went viral and we gained followers and we got more followers, and a deal came in, and from that deal we got another deal, and we were able to piggyback and leverage to where we are today. But we all started somewhere, and we all started at the beginning, just where you are. And she said, I can see you've put in work, you've been posting videos, your videos are good, you're making progress, and I'm no different from you. There's no reason that you can't have the success that I've had. There's no reason you can't do what I'm doing, because you're not any dumber than me, you're not any uglier than me, you're not worse than me in any way. Nothing that makes me able to do what I'm doing disqualifies you from doing it. We're all just normal people, and there's no reason you can't do it. And it was nice to hear that reminder, because sometimes you see these people online, you think, oh my god, they have this curated life and they're perfect and the aesthetic, and they travel, and wow, they just have such success. And it seems almost inconceivable to understand how your life can go from where it is now to where their lives are, or the person you aspire to. And I'm just talking about content, 'cause that's what I do. But if you're a musician, seeing someone touring or whatever, or you're an actor, seeing someone in a you know a feature-length film, it feels so far and so distant that it's hard to even perceive or conceive of the fact that you could potentially be there one day. But hearing someone say to me, I started where you were, I'm no different to you, I just kept posting, and it took me 4 or so years, and I'm here today, and sometimes I'm like in shock at the places I go and the brands I work with and things I have. But I want you to remember that you can do it. And I say this to people all the time. She said, there's no reason why you can't, because it just takes you and a camera and you sharing your opinion and just keeping up at it until you find your people. And everyone has a different audience, and you have to figure out what works for you and what you love doing. Because she said she loved doing it so much that she was able to keep doing it consistently. And she said, find what you love to talk about, find your topics, so that it doesn't feel like work, and don't let yourself feel like you can't make it in the industry because you're not this kind of person. Because there are so many influencers she's met. She said, I've met so many people that do what I do, and they're travel influencers, but they have a different personality or different format, and they make different videos. And it's good to be different. It's good to be unique. No one wants to see a copycat or cookie cutter version of another content creator. So your strength and power is actually in being you and being yourself. And she said that she saw that I have a personality type that would do really well, because I have an ability to talk and communicate, and I'm funny and I'm silly and I like to share. So that is a reminder that I needed. And sometimes you do need to hear someone externally tell you that, actually, look, you've got this, you can do this, don't give up, and don't question yourself because of what you're seeing, and don't compare yourself to others and think, I can't be like that because I'm not like that. Because you don't need to be like that. You need to be yourself, and being yourself is the strength and the power that's going to make you be successful as you are, by just being yourself. And that was a good thing to hear, is that I need to not let myself feel bad about being different, but actually lean into the fact that my difference is what makes me strong, and that is a blessing in a sense. And so I feel reinvigorated and inspired and confident in myself, and I truly believe that I can have what I want. So I'm not going to keep playing it small anymore. I'm not going to doubt myself, and I'm not going to question myself and say that I can't have that because, oh, you know, could it be me, and do I deserve that, and could I ever really make it, and could that ever really be me, because I'm not like this person, I don't look like that, I don't talk like that, I don't have that lifestyle, because that isn't That's not what I need. Me being me is what makes me good enough, and me being me is what is my gift and my strength. And so I'm going to keep being me. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to see where it takes me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this diary entry. My Dear Diary series is a series where I share my thoughts on a topic that's on my mind in a raw, open and honest diary-like format. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.